The rich have been hiding mind-blowing money secrets from you, and today I'm exposing all 7 of them. For most people, money feels like a trap. You work, you save, you stress, and for what? It feels confusing and honestly, a little scary. What if I told you the ultra-wealthy are quietly playing a completely different game with a secret rulebook you were never shown? In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 7 money secrets the rich use to legally pay less tax, grow wealth while sleeping, and stay rich even when they look broke on paper. Once you see these, you won't just understand how rigged the system is, you'll be able to exploit it. Let's start at number 7 because this one sounds illegal, but it's 100% legal. At number 7, a loophole so wild it's called buy, borrow, die. In 3 steps, the super rich avoid paying capital gains taxes by never actually cashing out profits. Here's a question no one asks. How does a billionaire buy a $50 million yacht if their salary is $1 a year? Step 1. Buy assets. The wealthy build fortunes by buying appreciating assets, stocks, real estate, businesses. Those gains aren't taxed until you sell, unlike wages which are taxed immediately. Step 2. Borrow. Instead of selling to spend, they borrow against their assets. However, here's the trick. Loans aren't taxed as income, so they can buy cars, yachts, even private islands with borrowed money. Step 3. Die. When they pass away, the tax code steps up the value of their assets. In plain language, any growth during their life vanishes on paper. Their heirs inherit them at the current value, wiping out decades of taxes. It sounds unreal, but it's real and perfectly legal. The Atlantic calls it the mother of all loopholes, letting billionaires spend and pass on fortunes tax-free. Meanwhile, we ordinary folks pay hefty taxes on every sale we make. The rich aren't dumb. They've engineered this cycle to amass wealth while Uncle Sam collects next to nothing. Even crazier, one study found the 25 richest Americans paid only approximately 3.4% tax on their wealth gains. Jeff Bezos paid about 1% and Warren Buffett just 0.1%. Talk about an unequal playing field. Most people stop here, and that's a huge mistake because secret number 6 explains why you've been sold a complete fantasy about easy money. At number 6, we have a brutal reality check. You've seen the videos about making easy money, make money while you sleep, set it and forget it. I strongly suggest you lower your expectations. Passive income is passive from the start? Absolutely not. That's the lie they want you to believe. Let me ask you this. If it were that easy, why isn't everyone financially free? Why is your neighbor still commuting 2 hours a day? Here's the twist. The rich know that passive income is actually front-loaded with massive pain. It demands upfront work, calculated risk, relentless learning, and often losing money before you make a dime. Rental properties? You need capital, contractors, and 2 AM calls. Dividend stocks, you need a mountain of cash for the payouts to buy a sandwich. YouTube automation, you need to grind for months with 0 views. However, once the machine exists, the rich treat the income as fuel, not a finish line. They don't use passive income to buy Ferraris. They recycle it back to build more machines. Wait until you hear this. The rich love that you believe it's easy, because when beginners try and realize it's hard, they quit. The rich expect the grind, and that's why they get the freedom other people only dream of. And if you think that's harsh, wait until you hear number 5, because it flips the script on something you've been terrified of your whole life. At number 5, let's eliminate a financial lie your grandma probably drilled into you. Debt is the devil, cut up your credit cards. Sounds safe, right? Wrong. That's only half the story, and it's keeping you poor. Let me break it to you. The shocking truth is there are 2 types of debt, consumer debt and asset debt. And to show you how radically different they are, let me introduce you to 2 people. Person A just bought a brand new car on a 7-year loan. It loses 20% of its value the second it hits the road. He's beaming with pride until the monthly payments start stacking. Interest builds, insurance jumps, maintenance creeps in. Within months, he's working harder, saving less, and wondering why he feels like he's running in place, constantly falling behind. Now meet person B. B walks into a bank and borrows $200,000 at 6% interest. But instead of buying a depreciating toy, he uses that money as a down payment on an apartment building that brings in 10% in rental income annually. He's not stressed because the asset pays the debt. And once the loan's paid off, he owns the building and the cash flow keeps coming, building his empire. Same 5 letters, DEBT. 2 wildly different outcomes. Consumer debt strangles you, asset debt pays you. The rich get this instinctively. If the debt doesn't help them earn, they don't touch it. This is non-negotiable. The secret they really don't want you to know: the system actually wants you stuck in consumer debt. They don't just dangle those 0% interest offers, they engineer the trap for your dreams: phones, TVs, furniture. Why? Because the more you finance, the more you owe. And while you're drowning in payments, the wealthy are using debt to buy the very companies selling you those dreams. Think about that for a second. You pay 18% on a credit card to buy something you'll forget in 6 months. They pay 6% to buy the company charging you that interest. And the kicker, you think you're playing it safe by avoiding all debt, but you're playing right into their hands. The shift that changes everything. Every time you take on consumer debt, you're trading your future freedom for short-term comfort. But once you flip the switch, once you start using debt like the rich do, you stop being the product. You start being the owner. And if you thought that was controversial, wait until you see secret number 4, where we expose why playing it safe might be the riskiest move of all. If you are still here, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for such engaging content. At number 4, prepare for the truth that directly contradicts everything your financial advisor and every personal finance book has ever told you. You've been drilled with the mantra, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify, diversify, diversify. Sounds like common sense, right? Wrong. That advice is designed to keep you safe, not make you rich. Here is the secret the Forbes list screams: every billionaire got there by doing the exact opposite. Bill Gates, all in on Microsoft. Jeff Bezos, obsessed with Amazon. Mark Zuckerberg, singularly focused on Facebook. The wealthy understand the sequence. You concentrate to get rich, then you diversify to stay rich. Think about it. You have $1,000. You spread it across 50 different stocks. One miraculously doubles. Congratulations, you just made $20. You're not rich, you're just meticulously organized. The wealthy make big, calculated, obsessive bets on themselves and their primary business. They pour every ounce of energy and every resource into one thing until it explodes. My advice: stop trying to do 10 things at once. Stop chasing every shiny object. Pick one skill, one business, one asset class, and master it with an intensity that scares most people. This strategy is terrifying. It requires immense guts and unwavering conviction. Here's the critical distinction: diversification is for preserving wealth, not creating it. And speaking of guts and the uncomfortable truths the system hides from you, secret number 3 reveals the hidden truth about how markets actually work, and why you're probably losing money by blindly following the news. At number 3, we're diving into the secret that separates the financial pros from the perpetual gamblers. You've been told investing is about finding great stories, right? This stock is a no-brainer. Crypto is going to the moon, and then crash. Be brutally honest, how many times have you bought into that hype only to watch your money disappear? And here's the question no one dares to ask: who got rich while you were losing yours? The answer is simple: the people running the numbers. Here's the shocking truth: the rich guard with their lives. They are not emotional about money. They don't fall in love with a stock. They don't care about the story, not one bit. They care about one thing and one thing only: the price. While you are caught up in the narrative, they're asking the cold, hard, boring questions. Is this asset fundamentally overvalued? What is the statistical probability it drops from here? Where is the exit liquidity for my position? But here's the truly insidious secret. The rich don't just ignore the stories, they create the stories for you to buy so they can sell their assets at a premium. They need you to be emotional, to be swept up in the narrative, so they can be ruthlessly profitable. They feed you the dream while they execute the plan. And that leads perfectly into number 2, a sneaky trick that turns your losses into wins. This is a cheat code the rich hope you never discover. At number 2, we are talking about a maneuver so cunning, so brilliant, it feels like a legal cheat code, a strategy the rich use to turn their losses into tax-free wins. This is tax loss harvesting. This is what fundamentally changes how you approach your investments and, more importantly, your taxes. Here's the brutal truth. When a normal person loses money on a trade, they panic, they feel stupid, they vow never to invest again. But when a rich person loses money, they don't panic. They call their accountant. Why? Because they understand a secret weapon. If you sell an asset at a loss, you can instantly use that loss to offset your gains elsewhere. Made a sweet $50,000 profit on stock A, but lost $20,000 profit on stock B, the government only taxes you on the difference, $30,000. They just saved $20,000 worth of tax money. This is the move that separates the savvy from the suckers. They instantly claim that juicy tax break, and then, without missing a beat, they buy a similar, but not identical investment. They lock in the tax savings, and they don't miss out if the market recovers. They literally turn a mistake into a tax deduction. It is like getting a discount coupon from the government for failing. You don't need millions in the bank to do this. This is available to everyone, yet most people are too busy trying to pick winners to realize that simply managing their losers correctly can save them thousands, even tens of thousands, every single year. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. We're on to the number one secret, the biggest, most dangerous lie in the book, the one that keeps 99% of the population stuck in the rat race forever. The final grand deception that keeps 99% of the population trapped and broke. A salary means stability. Society drilled this into you. Get a steady paycheck and you'll be safe. But pause and look at the reality. One income stream, one boss, one company. If AI gets smarter, if the economy even sneezes, your entire livelihood vanishes overnight. Does that sound stable? That sounds like gambling with your life. Here is the brutal truth. The rich see a salary not as a safety net, but as a ceiling. It is someone else deciding your worth, your schedule, your freedom. The shocking secret, the rich are unstable on purpose. They chase profits, dividends, and equity. Yes, these fluctuate, but they offer unlimited upside. Jeff Bezos took a tiny salary because his real wealth exploded from owning Amazon stock. Use that stable salary to aggressively fund your unstable assets. This is the non-negotiable blueprint. Take the paycheck, buy the asset, build the empire. Until you divorce your time from your money, you will never be truly free. The rich know this. They are banking on you staying comfortable in your cubicle, building their dreams. We've exposed the rich's biggest secrets, but let's be honest. What good is knowing the rules if your income is stuck? You know now you need to own assets, but how? That's why your next step is crucial. The real challenge is making more money in the first place. You need a strategy that actually works in 2026. I've already broken down the new brutal reality of online income in my video right here. Click that video now and get wired for money.